Hey, it's Kevin Keatsman. Stick around. I'm coming up at 10 o'clock right after Pete Mundo on KCMO 95.7 FM.
All right, John, who won those tickets to see Zach Brown Band?
Terry in Overland Park, number 7 this time around. Looking forward to the show in September at T-Mobile Center.
All right. Congratulations to him. Let's get to our next guest. Jerry Nolte is here. He is the presiding commissioner in Clay County, joining us on KCMO Talk Radio. All right. So the headlines yesterday were basically Clay County is done with the Royals. I did not read it that way. I read the press release from the Clay County commissioners as simply they missed the deadline for the April ballot, where they would theoretically have a tax on there to potentially lure the Royals up to the Northland. So, Jerry, can you clarify what exactly the purpose was of that statement yesterday?
Well, and thank you for having me on. No, you've got it totally right. The thing is, the deadline was not met, and that was largely an electoral deadline that is a function of the voting process. But no, part of the reasoning behind that was that deadline having been passed is we didn't want people to think just that we were out of the picture. We want to make sure that people understand that there's a strong and competitive proposal that the county has made. So that we wanted to clarify that so that it would not be misinterpreted in that way.
And what is that proposal that you have made?
Well, that is still within the negotiating process. So we really don't negotiate in public, obviously. And but once we do get to a point to where we are prepared to bring it to a vote of the people, that is the time we sit down and we start going through it very carefully. And that's one of the reasons that the timeline is so important is we have to have time to present it to the people of the county and say, is this what you want to do or is this not what you want to do?
So now what's the earliest, as you see it, the Royals could be on a theoretical ballot up in Clay County?
The one that jumps to my mind is the August ballot, which gives us, a considerable amount of time. But this has been a protracted process, and really, what is going to be happening here is the Royals need to decide what their way forward is, whether they want to go with an option downtown in Kansas City, which, quite frankly, is a smaller footprint. Or if they want to take advantage of the opportunity of approximately 100 acres in Clay County.
So what if the August deadline or the August ballot's the next potential time to get them on a ballot? When do you need confirmation by? June?
Yeah. But we do need, like I say, we would want to set it up and certainly present it to the people. Because at the end of the day, this is not a race to the bottom by any means. So, I mean, that is certainly accurate. Our motivation is not trying to get in there and somehow, like I say, race to the bottom to get this landed. It's more about what is in the interest of our citizens, because at the end of the day, they are the ones that have to decide. So our job is to come up with the best possible alternatives for them, and then they will either accept it or they will not. But before we get to that point, the Royals just need to let us know how they want to go forward, and then we can start from there to make sure the citizens are well informed when they go to the ballot box.
And is there any way around a vote, or is the only option in Clay County for the Royals to go to a vote of the people on a sales tax?
I think the option to go to the people is pretty much there. And in all honesty, I don't like the idea of going around the people on decisions like this. If there was a route to go forward without going to the vote of the people, I would be very skeptical, because at the end of the day, this is their money and they are trusting us to come up with good recommendations. So I am not a fan of working around the people on decisions of this magnitude.
Jerry Nolte is the presiding commissioner in Clay County on KCMO Talk Radio 95.7 FM. There was some news here a couple of weeks ago. We have not spoken since this news, where a fellow commissioner, Commissioner Withington, came out and said that he was done negotiating with the Royals. But you're saying that you're not done. So what's the real deal? Is the commission done or not?
The thing is, no, the commission is not done. Neither myself nor Commissioner Withington are members of our negotiating team. Those members, of course, were outlined in the press release. They still continue their work. I was talking to one member of the team, in fact, yesterday, and I believe that the door is still open. As I said, the purpose of this press release was to make sure that people understood that this was just a deadline that was not met, but that we are still able to have those discussions. And I think it's important to remember that we are not unilaterally involved in this. We have great partners at the state level with Governor Keogh. We have local entities like the city of North Kansas City, and we have private people who are private entities who are also involved. So I think for us to strike out unilaterally and make comments is probably not a way to go forward, because we need to be working with our partners. This is not a Clay County alone decision. We need to make sure that we are working with our partners and obviously getting the people involved at the earliest possible moment.
You know, there's a million analogies we could make here, Jerry Nolte, on how this has played out with the Royals, but you guys obviously were interested 2, 3, 4 years ago when, of course, they end up saying we'll go to a ballot in Jackson County. We're here 20 months later. There's rumblings about, Overland Park, now maybe downtown's in the driver's seat. Does a part of you feel like you are just, for lack of a better analogy, being played as the side piece in all this?
If we were indeed engaged in a, as I said, race to the bottom, I think that analogy could be, I think that would be made, and it could be a valid one. But because the fact that we are putting our proposal out there, it is obviously responsive to what we feel the Royals and our other partners are looking for. But at the end of the day, it has to be most responsive to what we bring to the people. And that's why a vote is so important. It keeps us going on the right track, because always in the back of at least my mind, I'm thinking at some point, if we are successful in getting this proposal accepted, we're going to have to go to the people and explain to them why this is, all the factors, why this is a good idea or why it's not a good idea. Mm-hmm. And it's got to be the people who decide. And I don't want to put something up there that is not acceptable to the people. So that keeps us focused on what is important, and that's their interests. All
right. Jerry Nolte is the presiding commissioner here on KCMO up in Clay County. So last thing, do you think the state is favoring you in all this? Do you want them to favor you just over Jackson County, or are they largely staying out of it?
The state is, obviously a very large partner in this. Their focus is obviously in many ways to keep the teams in Missouri, and we've been kind of working the Team Missouri angle on this thing. And to us, I wouldn't put words in the mouth of the governor or anyone else, but I would say that they certainly recognize that we are a viable and I think, very good option. Like I say, you just look at the opportunities for economic development on such a large tract of land under one ownership, and it is really hard to see how this is not a highly attractive offering for everybody involved.
Mm-hmm. All right, Jerry Nolte, Clay County Commissioner, presiding commissioner on KCMO. Thank you for being here, Jerry. Keep up the good work. Appreciate the time.
Thank you, Pete.
All right, there you go. Jerry Nolte on KCMO. Nice job as always by him.